Yeah, it's getting a little cooler out, in the mornings, but I always sleep with the fan on. I don't care if it's like 40 below in the middle of winter, we got the fan on, and red light is on, and we are live. Roxanne, you don't have to put on that red light. Roxanne, the red light's on. I'm doing the Roxanne thing, It's like we were saying before showtime, though, that it's a little cooler out, both days and nights. I mean, it was 90s forever this summer, it seemed like. Man, Andy, jeez. But, dun, 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 summer's almost gone. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's almost, man. Fall is here, I think. Good morning, good morning, good morning. On a cool and clear Monday, September 16th. What about it? 73 today, 73 to 75 degrees today. And this should be the warmest day of the week this week. 60s, 70s, upper 40s, 50, low 50s at the night. It's supposed to rain day after tomorrow. Wednesday. What? Look, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, Tuesday night. Well, come on, man. All right. If it's keep on raining, the levee's gonna break. It's raining, man. It's, that's right, Andy. Everybody knows it is September. It's September 16th, and that means all Zeppelin, all September long. I've been playing the crap out of it, haven't I? Man, we've been listening to Zeppelin 3, 4. We were even Stairway is Still Denied. All right, what about dancing days are here again? The summer evenings grow, boom, 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 boom. I got my flower, I got my power. I got a woman who knows, it's all right. Andy says, knock the singing off. Well, how was your weekend then, brother? Nice. I was pretty much doing the football all weekend long, man. It was like started Thursday night on professional, then we had college, and, Friday night, high school Friday night, college all day Saturday, professional all day yesterday, and we got Monday Night Football. Who was it? The Bengals and the Chiefs? Was it? I don't know. Who knows? I snuck in the fight, though. Sean O'Malley. It was Saturday night. He fought, Dev Vishalik? Whoever that guy's name is. He was constant through the fight. He wouldn't let Sean hit. He wouldn't let him strike. He did, 6 takedowns, Andy? Yeah, he tied him up. And I guess that's how you win, too. I mean, if you can control the guy on the mat, unanimous decision. Like I said, Sean didn't really get any good strikes in or anything like that. He was pretty much kept off balance. The whole fight, I would say. Wouldn't you say? I mean, come on, Yeah, it was, I was disappointed. He's a Montana boy, Helena boy. I am sure that this is not the end of the story with that guy. The sugar train is maybe stopped at a station for a minute, but yeah, he'll be back. Yeah, a guy tied him up the whole fight. Yeah, yep. I was watching that end of the game. Yeah, Saturday night. All right, Andy. Before we get any further, and suddenly, last summer, I like the motels. Yes, I do. But let's give a shout out to our partners in crime, the Great Falls Gazette. Remember, this show is brought to you by our friends at the Great Falls Gazette. Still only $1. And people are saying, where can you get the Great Falls Gazette? Well, they were nice enough to give me a little list here, so where can you get it? Heck, you can get it at the Great Falls Gazette office here at the Columbus Center, Public Drug, Schulte's up on 38, Everyday IGA, Keith's Country Store, the Great Falls RV Park. You got the two Sinclairs on 10th and 12th, and there's 3 Conocos. Also, you can get it up in Augusta. Pick up a copy at Allen's Manic Store, the Trading Post. So, not to be confused, Andy, with the Trading Post Saloon in Missoula in the 70s where we lived, where I lived. Yeah, it's a great deal. We were glad to have them on board. So, the question is, so when are we going to see my smiling face on the cover of the Great Falls Gazette? Oh, yeah, Andy. What do you think about that? All right. All right. In Springfield, Ohio, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. Of course, if you've been under a rock, that's the most popular meme. Meme, gift, TikTok video, on Facebook right now, on Instagram, on social media. It's all over the place. I watched the debate, and when he said that, I literally, I was glad I wasn't drinking coffee or anything, because they're not, okay? Of course they're not, okay? We've done some extensive research here before work on Showtime. We've had a week to look it up, but basically, fact-checking, and nope, they're not eating pets. There was a single incident in where Andy Canton, about 100 miles away, where a mental health client who was black and a United States citizen, right? Okay, the facts are the matter of. That's what it was. That's the fact. Okay, 100 miles away. Mental health client, American citizen, black mental health client lady. She tried to eat a dead cat. Didn't know if she killed it or not, but she tried. And that's where it started, right there. That's where it started. It snowballed until you have, exactly, you had the president in a debate stating this as fact on television, to the meanness of us all, and of course his running mate J.D. Vance is backing it up, and actually these statements have caused problems for the citizens of Springfield, Ohio. If in our research trying to find some truth to the story, and we couldn't. Local news in Springfield and in Niles, people of Springfield, the elementary schools have had bomb threats. The local elementaries, The threats have been directed to the city council members, and all of this is, of course, because of the unwanted, false publicity and certain people in our population to deem it necessary to follow that false narrative and cause problems. There is no truth to the story. Basically, it's lies, boom, 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 lies, boom, boom. You're telling me that you'll be true, do-do-do-do-do, lies, do-do-do-do-do, lies, do-do-do-do. That's all I ever get from you. Someday you're going to be the Knickerbockers, all right? I couldn't resist, okay? I couldn't resist, Andy. I mean, come on. It's my show if I want to sing the Knickerbockers. I like that new addition to the studio. People that you only see what's here, and I see what's there. And like I told you, I have a clock over here, up there, so I can tell what time it is. And it's almost 8:15. And I got a picture from black and white from Eddie Van Halen from the '83 US Festival. But the new edition over here is it's a big picture size. It's the Beatles' Abbey Road. So it fits with what's we got going on here. What do we have on here? Okay. Suddenly, last summer, do. And we were singing Lies before that, and speaking of lies. Yeah, who's lying now about what? We're the debunk show today. But anyway, lies. Have you seen, of course they've seen, have you seen the grocery giant from the Valley of the Giant? We can't go on because that would be copyright? You're kidding me. Can I go I can't. Now, what if I was talking about those? I can't do that either. Okay, we're going to talk about the grocery giant Kroger, because they're in the news everywhere, okay? And, a lot of people, a lot of the consumers, U.S. citizens, being Andy, we think, okay, we assume or think. Well, if we assume, you know what that means. It makes an ass out of you and me. But anyway, we assume that, or we think that, inflation, like Kroger and Walmart and the prices, is that they're the blame for inflation. And it's not just in our imagination. It was just my imagination, boom, 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 running away with me. Oh yeah, it's my show and I can sing just to my imagination if I want. All right, it's not our imagination, okay? Prices, and there's several factors that drive inflation. Consumer spending. Okay, lending rates, and consumer, and people don't throw gas in there. That's consumer spending. Okay, and besides, we don't. Okay, that's another show. All right, but if you look at the stats now, we're talking about greedy corporations like Kroger and Walmart, and Pepsi, and these giant Frito-Lay and all the Procter and Gamble, all these huge corporations, right, that we buy from as consumers every day. And people like Walmart and Kroger have the market cornered, like the bigger Frito-Lay. Okay? Not only do the Frito-Lay make their own chips, but Frito-Lay makes generic chips that they buy correct in. You are correct. So from February of 2020, okay, to this past July, okay, February 2020 to this past July, grocery prices grew a cumulative of I got this 25.6%. And that's higher. The grocery prices grew cumulatively across the board 25.6%. And that's higher than the overall inflation rate, which was 21.6. Okay? That's 4 points higher. Okay? Good, I got the math. Well, 21, 25.6 is their price index. Inflation is 21.6. That's during the same period. Okay? So there's no, you can't get on the wagon and say, oh, well, no, they're not doing it. It's Bidenomics, and it's, Kamala Harris, and it's their fault. If grocery stores across the board are raising their prices 25.6%, and inflation is only 21%, well, they got to make a profit. The CEOs of these corporations make billions, all right? Come on now. Come on. So, there's no disputing that food sellers and the manufacturers, okay, have passed the cost along to us that really have substantially grown in that period of time since 2020. But you got to remember, these they typically do this, right? When there's a problem, and as a business, you do it too. I used to detail cars. I house paint in my spare time. Both professions have gone up substantially because of the cost of living, cost of materials, cost from the manufacturers, the stuff I have to buy from Walmart, who have raised their prices 4 points above the inflation rate. But there's stuff that they had to absorb, okay? And everything has gone up substantially since the coronavirus. The corona pandemic. My corona, dun 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 dun, my corona. It's my corona. All right, it is. I've heard the Weird Al song. All right, first came the what would we call it? The rush of shoppers in 2020, 2019, stockpiling groceries to prepare for the lockdown. Remember the toilet paper? I gotta get toilet paper. I gotta get 9,000 rolls of toilet paper. People were buying out toilet paper for no particular reason. They just were buying out all sorts of weird stuff too. Remember? How can we forget? Okay? And then, remember, not only that are people getting ready for the lockdowns in 2019, 2020, but you got, operations are slowing down. Remember, businesses were getting closed down, meat packing plants, transportation companies were stopping. There was a shortage. That made shipping bills skyrocket. Okay. Workers, you had people in 2020 getting sick. Workers were getting sick. The stores had to start selling or shelling out money for building these big, remember during the 220 and 219 they had like plastic barriers and everybody's behind plastic. Stay away from everybody stay 6 feet back, step back. Okay, social distancing, plastic shields, everything. Okay, so they had to shell out money for that. Okay. And then gallons upon gallons upon gallons of hand sanitizer. I mean, it's like we're bathing in this stuff, man. Yeah, la 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 la. Hand sanitizer, man. And then, well, all of that's going on, okay? All of that's going on. It's affecting our prices, right? Meanwhile, over in Europe, you got Russia invading Ukraine, right? Disrupt global food supplies, even ours, okay? Particularly what? Grain, vegetable oil, and fertilizers worldwide, okay? Right. That's not enough to drive prices up, right? We had avian flu, floods, droughts. I mean, it was heck. Everything was going on, okay? And through all of this, you remember, and I remember, the mantra from people that worked lower paying jobs, entry-level jobs, like Walmart workers, McDonald's workers, fast food workers, that have been stuck literally for decades. They start saying, we want more money, because our bosses are charging more. Right? It's a vicious circle. So, researchers, Andy, at the Federal Reserve based in Kansas City and New York City. New York City? What the hell? Anyway, they saw higher wages needed for more labor, accounted for the master. You got to pay the workers more. If you got to pay the workers more, who do you pass it on to? The consumers, right? If we had to hire 15 people here, we'd be high. Right, exactly. The more people you hire, the higher the wage you get, the more the business has to make. And they jack the prices up, like we were saying, a whole 4 points. And that makes sense. Everybody, the price it's all legitimate, right? Right, Andy, right? Not so fast. Okay? Not so fast, cowboy. Not so fast, all right? You knew I was going there. Yep. Like I mentioned earlier, the grocery store conglomerate, Kroger, we talked about Kroger, Walmart just a bit ago, they're trying to buy Albertsons, okay? Albertsons, it's all landed in federal court. And due to the fact that if Kroger bought Albertsons, they pretty much have what? Them and Walmart would have almost 100% of the grocery stores incorporation. You got to remember Kroger owns like Piggly Wiggly, or do they? Okay. They own not Piggly Wiggly. They own Super Save. Okay. They own Rosar. All right. They do own a lot of people. They don't rename it. And so basically, it's all in federal court now because everybody's like, whoa, wait. Pepsi and Coke have already done this. Okay. Right. Cigarettes used to do it, okay? Alcohol, not so much, but that would, it would have Kroger and Walmart would corner the American food market. Exactly. And that's scary, that's scary in itself because if you look at the stats, you got the CEO from Walmart and the CEO from Kroger, record salaries. They're making money, and they're like, well, they deserve it. They're CEO. Not while most of your workers are like 38, 36-hour positions, so they don't have to give you health insurance, and they pay minimum wage. And so if you're working 38 hours a week, you're going to have to get another job. And if you can't get another job, then you're going to be on assistance. And it's a known fact that a lot of workers from Walmart Right. The workers are not treated fairly. I don't know. I've never worked, but I've read the comments. I've known people that work there. So, but you know, the CEOs from Pepsi and Procter and Gamble, and like I said, Walmart, Kroger, they're all reported record profits. So, if we know that they're pricing, if we know they're pricing 4 points before the inflation rate, is that gouging? Well, yes, it is, because 2 weeks ago, Kroger's senior executive director of sales, Andy Groff was his name. He testified 2 weeks ago, August 29th, okay, in federal court that the Kroger, the grocery giant from the valley, we can't do that, had raised items well above the inflation rate. They did it on purpose, and they got busted for doing it, for jacking up the prices on purpose, price gouging, like Kamala Harris was talking about. They were admitted in federal court. Yeah. So, I guess, in a nutshell, ooh, look at me, I'm in a nutshell. Corporate greed is fueling higher prices, which translates into inflation, in my humble opinion. Right. In my humble opinion. So if you got corporate heads saying we did it on purpose, if you got them admitting to price gouging right there in federal hearings, 4 points above the rate, you can blame whomever you want to blame. But from what the research we saw and we did, and let me repeat, it's not the grocery stores by themselves. Okay? It's the grocery stores along with other people that are doing the same thing. Okay? Rent's a good example. We won't get into it. We should do one on rent itself. But if you pay $250, $400 a month, $500 a month for taxes and insurance for your home, that's a rental, and you're charging $2,000 to rent it, you're part of that problem too. You're doing the exact same thing as Walmart and Kroger. Andy, can you dig it? Can you dig it? I can dig it, she can dig it, they can dig it, dig. I can't dig it, I can't do it. Hey! Oh man, Andy, we'd be amiss, wouldn't we? We would be amiss if we did not mention that today, September 16th, is the Mexican Independence Day. Yee-haw! That's right. September 16th, right, Andy? It marks the day when Catholic priest, all right, Miguel Hidalgo, nice, Miguel Hidalgo called for the independence from Spain. Well, I've never been to Spain. Okay, that was in 1810. Miguel called for the independence by giving a speech. It was the town of Dolores, and then ringing the church bells. And at that moment was called Grito de Dolores. And I don't know what that means. It was like the speech at Dolores. And he rang the church bells, and it was start of the 11-year War of Independence. with Spain. It was kind of not like ours, but in a way it was kind of like ours too. People always confuse Cinco de Mayo with what today is, and today is really Mexican's Independence Day. Cinco de Mayo was a battle against the French. Okay, and it was against 1865, right? It was against in the battle of the Cinco de Mayo. It's a battle against the French. The Battle of Pueblo, and they won that too. But today is Mexican Independence Day, and they had the rule. Spain was ruling them 300, 400 years, 306 years of Spanish rule. And Mexicans we're madder than hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. So, yesterday was the start of Mexican Heritage Month. So it's all kind of wrapped in. There's several other countries in South America and Central America that celebrate their Independence Day, which is not to be confused with Cinco de Mayo. And, it's a big time, a big thing for our friends and neighbors south of the border. Yeah, in the old Mexico. Right. Yeah, well, they gave us what? Tacos, mariachi bands, Modelo, Corona. They all come from our friends. And what else? Oh, one of my favorites, Salma Hayek. Right, she's Mexican-American, born in Mexico. Absolutely. Absolutely a dream girl. Oh, yeah. It's always one of the hall passes that I have in any relationship. If I have a chance, Salma Hayek is cute from head to toe. And you knew we'd throw that in there. Andy, how are we doing on time? We're not doing good on time. Andy says we're done. Wow. My, how time flies when you're giving dirt on Kroger and wild corporations. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? We started doing that, all the price indexes, and it's not just Walmart and Kroger and food, it's everybody's doing it. They don't have to do it anymore. Supply chain's fixed, it's fine. Andy, we're done? We are done this September 16th. Remember, everybody, spay and neuter. Adopt, don't shop. Foster, rescue, Andy, volunteer, right? And hey, you guys, adopt a shelter pet today. Andy, till next Monday. We are out of here. Have a great week, everybody.